So how old were you when you started comedy?
I was 17.
17.
My
So
first
that's right when
stage.
you started moving into that house?
Around the same time we moved out the project, exactly.
And
Yeah.
So how did you find out where you could? How did you find out you could do comedy, and then
Okay.
how did you find out where you could do comedy?
Okay, what happened was I did the talent show. It was pretty good. You know, I won the talent show, actually. I won the talent show that night. And a lot of good singers, man, singers and people. Anyway, so after the show was over, that's when I started listening and watching Richard Pryor and Tonight Show and all. I wasn't really into, I didn't care about Richard, and I heard him, I seen him, Richard Red Fox and all of them.
Yeah, because like all the adults and you.
Yeah, it was adult stuff, and I didn't really
listening
care
to,
about
to the albums and stuff.
It wasn't something serious about show business. Show business was something that was out there.
Yeah.
Other people did.
I didn't even know it existed
Exactly.
until about 15 years ago.
Yeah,
For being
even-
perfectly honest,
Same here. Yeah.
Like seriously, I knew people did it, but I thought, well, those are special people who are in a club somewhere, and
Somebody discovered them.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's-
Well, they're so good. That's how it happens. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
Like regular people don't ever get to do that.
No, man,
It's crazy. Yeah.
And you don't have to be famous to be in show business. I thought you had to be a star, but most of show business is not stars.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what's deep about this.
Yeah.
Most of the guys that's in show business are just regular people that's just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Only a handful of comedic stars. You know. Anyway, so
So you win the talent show.
won a talent show, and somebody saw me at the talent show and started telling me about the comedy clubs in Philadelphia. You know, so I start going to the first place I went to was a place called the Jailhouse, which is in like West Philadelphia. It was a place where entertainers just wanted to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I went there like twice, and it was always older guys there. I was 17. The guys in there was like in their 40s and 50s.
Was there a couple steps down into that building?
I don't remember it too well.
Okay.
It was on Market Street. I went there a couple of times. I remember I was scared to death.
I mean, I've never been, but I've
You've heard of it?
I've heard it come up. You know, if you're interested in where comics begin,
Yeah.
you hear some
This guy
weird.
got so much stuff in his
Well,
head.
you just hear some weird names. Like I'll listen to anybody tell me about anything comedy stuff. You know what I mean?
Philadelphia with the Jailhouse.
Yeah.
You might hear that a lot. If you talk to comics a little older than me,
Yeah.
they'll tell you about the Jailhouse in Philadelphia. That's where
So this is
you're
1978.
talking about 77, 78. But the Jailhouse had already been established.
Who would be going through there?
I'm trying
around
to think
that
who you might have seen. Joey Bishop.
Yeah.
You might have seen. Joey Bishop, a guy named Tommy Moore, who helped me a lot in the beginning. But the guys that were brothers that I knew there were named a guy named Manny Mann, who was very funny. And so one day he told me, Manny Mann, he said, you got to go down to the other clubs downtown, you know, further into town. So I started going to a place called the Comedy Works. Mm-hmm. That was on 2nd and Chestnut. And I started doing open mics there on Wednesdays. And that was every week.
What was the deal? Did you have to pay to get in? You just have to show up and sign up?
You just showed up and signed up. Yeah, they put
Isn't
a
that
list.
crazy to think, like, when you first start going to comedy clubs, it's like, well, I just got to be here?
That's all you got to do.
It's strange.
You have to bring nobody. You have to pay no money. In fact, after about 6 months or so, they say, yo, you're funny. You getting paid to open mics.
Yep.
They used to give us
Yep.
$25, $30 open
food
mics.
tab.
Wow,
Thursdays.
back then too.
That's how comedy was in the beginning.
That rate. I mean, that's how comics in New York were surviving way
That's
back
right.
then.
That's
It
right.
was,
I was up there.
Yeah, you could go to, if you could hit 12 different spots and make between $20 and $50 per spot,
Oh, that's good.
and you could pay your rent.
That's how all of them
Yeah.
paid their rent.
Yeah.
So that's what they say, getting passed at a club. That's,
Sort of. So, you know, every club has different rules, but getting past the club basically just means you're going to work there more often and that you don't have to go through the process that you just went through again.
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I mean?
Right.
But some places that does mean you're getting paid.
I guess the
spots.
bigger cities, though, they have packed crowds in all these mics, though, right?
No.
No, okay.
I don't know how it is now in New
I
York.
would, you know, this is years ago, probably 7 years ago. I went to the Comedy Store open mic, and it's just comics, man. It was
okay.
just comics, and it was 4 people.
So it's-
and those 4 people did not appreciate that you were interrupting the fun stuff. You know what I mean?
It's just comics everywhere now, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It is wild. But I mean, well, getting humans out to an open mic is a tricky proposition, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to get cool people who are okay with people being artful and messy, but then also who aren't going to get offended by bad stuff. They have to know that you as the business owner don't control what comes out of these people's mouth. It's an open mic. I didn't book it. You know what I mean? But you do get some cool people who do support that. Like, at the Idiot Box, we see the same 30, 40, 50 people all year for open mics. You know what I mean? Like, and two to four of them will come out every week.
You mean audience or comics?
Audience, yeah. And, but, there are weird people who like going to open mics. Like, I'm a person who likes going to open mics.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't like performing at them, but I like watching them. You know what I mean? So you started going to Comedy Works?
Comedy Works.
Yeah.
And it caught on pretty good. I seen some good comics. And so what happened was they start giving me weekend MC spots. And
so anytime the headliners are coming through, or whatever,
I was hosting like 2 or 3 times a month.
That's great.
I was
making any money?
Yeah, I made like $100 a weekend.
That's great.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Back then, it's really good, right?
I mean,
that was cool. That's 24 hours a show. A little more.
How old are you? You're less
I was 18. Maybe.
You know what I mean? I mean, $100 a week.
I was
to
cute.
tell
I was
jokes?
funny.
In 78.
Yeah, and I had my little. I would imitate the mayor of the city. I imitate Elvis, little Michael Jackson. Little stuff like that. It was fun, and I got to see people in the beginning of their careers. I seen Leno. I hosted for Leno. I hosted for Leno. Wow. Ellen DeGeneres. Not Ellen at that time. Richard Jenny.
Oh wow.
Richard name them, man. Frankie the Jai. I hosted for them guys. I used to watch them. Oh man, at the Green Room Access, it was fun. I could start naming people, but I can't think of one right now. But you name them, I was there. And that was one of the main places in Philadelphia.
Those are the comics.
And I was the host.
Those are the comics who
Letterman,
came through the
Ellen Boozler,
the boom, Elaine Boozler, and the
Elaine
boom in the
Boozler.
'80s. Came from that time.
And I was hosting in Philadelphia, so I got to see a lot of funny people.
Yeah, Philadelphia is like in the top 5 cities at that point too.
That's where Will Smith's from too, right?
Will
West
Smith,
Philadelphia. Yeah. Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Will Smith. Who else is a comic from there? Keith Robinson, Boys to Men, Ralph Harris.
Ralph Harris.
Yeah,
Man.
I got me, him, and Keith had a comedy team at one time.
Really?
Like a comedy production company.
Really?
Keith, it's called Comedy Express.
Keith Robinson is a living legend, and Ralph Harris is passed now, but Ralph
He's
Harris
still here. Robin Harris is gone.
Oh, I'm thinking Ralph. All right, so
yeah,
Ralph's
still here.
I don't know. I might not know.
It happens a lot with Ralph.
Poor guy. You give him my apologies.
But he's funny. He's a nice hell of a dude, man.
Yeah.
Ralph.
Does he still do comedy?
Yes, sir. Ralph's doing
You
very
still talk
well.
to these guys?
I talk to Keith and Ralph a lot. Ralph
Really?
is in Vegas, not Vegas. It works in Vegas. At what's the guy that was on with Ray Romano?
Oh yeah. He works at Brad Garrett's comedy club.
Brad Garrett's comedy. Him and Brad are good friends.
Oh,
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah,
that's
Ralph.
one of
You
the.
were showing me, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
that's
club.
one of the. It's one of the clubs. Every comic I talk to who goes there is like, this is a good spot.
Ralph closes there a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Hell yeah.
So is Keith. Rocky's doing okay.
Yeah.